Hello everybody, welcome back to my home here in East Tennessee on this beautiful day in February. I believe that it is going to be spring soon. I'm hoping so. I'm thinking spring today. And I've received a lot of requests from you all about care on my Miltonia Sunset. So I thought while I have these gorgeous blooms on this plant and they're just at their peak, so pretty. Look how gorgeous that is. I thought, yeah, let's do a tutorial on this one today. I will put the parentage of this plant down in the description box below for you all. But this is a hybrid, and it is a Miltonia. It's not a Miltoniopsis. Miltoniopsis requires different care. So for Miltonias, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And there are some available here in the United States. Not this particular one much. This one is available in Europe, but it's hard to find in the United States. So I'm just so blessed and so happy to have this plant. It came from my friend Patrick, and I just appreciate it so very much. It has been the source of a lot of buzz on my channel, and when people walk in my kitchen, that's where I have it here displayed. They just look at it and they're like, wow, what is that? My husband and my daughter, every time they walk by it, they stop and look. So this is definitely a showstopper. So I am happy to do a tutorial about this, and we can just hang out with this plant and enjoy these blooms today. Miltonia orchids require bright indirect light, but not direct sunlight. That will burn the leaves. The leaves should be a light lime green color, like what you see here. If they turn red, that means they're getting too much light. And if they're dark green, that means they're not receiving enough light. This one requires light that's similar to a Phalaenopsis orchid, about that same amount. I have mine growing in a northeast facing window under an LED light. And the LED light is about 8 inches above this plant. And I check the leaves often. I just kind of touch them to make sure that they're not overheating, that they're not too close to the light. But that seems to work really well with this one. The watering schedule with these orchids is really important. You need to keep them moist but not waterlogged. Don't let them dry out completely. I water them when the top of the moss feels slightly dry, and I notice the pot is lightweight when I pick it up. I use room temperature reverse osmosis water because they have really sensitive roots. I fertilize this orchid half strength every 2 weeks, and then in the wintertime I reduce that by half again. So I use MSU fertilizer, and a full dose is a teaspoon per gallon. So what I use is half strength, half of a teaspoon in a gallon of water in the spring, summer, and fall. And then in the wintertime, I use a quarter of a teaspoon of MSU. It's really important not to over fertilize these. They don't like salt buildup. That will kill the roots. And then on the weeks that I don't use the fertilizer, I use plain reverse osmosis water. The temperature range is the low of 60 degrees and the high up to 80 degrees. In other words, my normal house temperatures are perfect for this orchid. I keep my house rather warm. With the humidity, I don't have a humidifier around this orchid, but they like the humidity if you can offer it. But mine grows fine without a humidifier. It just means I need to water it more often in the winter with less humidity. This orchid is growing in New Zealand spag moss topped with bark. These require a lot of moisture, and the moss is perfect to grow it in my environment. And do you see how the roots are very thin? So they require more moisture than your other orchids. Also, the best time to repot these is after they're blooming, when new growth starts, preferably on an annual basis. This one I got in August and put it in New Zealand spag moss, so I don't know if I'm going to have to repot it this year or not. I guess I'm going to wait to see how many new growths I get. If I get 2 new growths, there might not be enough room in that pot. If I get 1, I think I'll probably get by with another year. And some troubleshooting tips. If the leaves become pleated or wrinkled, it indicates underwatering, or it can indicate there's root damage from overwatering. So remember to keep them moist but not soggy, and that will keep the leaves happy. Also, if the leaves turn yellow, it can either indicate improper watering or too much fertilizer. But the shedding of the old leaves on older pseudobulbs, that is perfectly normal. That's just a part of the life cycle of this plant. And I hope you all have enjoyed this tutorial as much as I have enjoyed just hanging out with this plant. It is just the most beautiful thing. It's not what I would call hard at all. It's just you have to remember to keep it moist and remember that the roots are sensitive. And yeah, that's the main thing with these plants. The beauty is just incredible. So I'm just hoping you all have a lot of success with your Miltonia orchids. And again, thank you to Patrick for sending this gorgeous plant to me. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you to my members for supporting my channel in the way that you do. Thanks to all of my subscribers and viewers. You all are my orchid family. I appreciate you all so much. And before I end the video, I'd love to say the blessing over you, your families, and your plants. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn His face towards you and give you peace. You all make it a great day. We'll talk to you next time.